Welcome to All Things Food. I'm John Woods. I'm really excited today because this is the channel we not only love to cook here, but we cook to love. And I'm loving what I'm doing today. I'm cooking these pork rib tips, a delicacy. Some people take these and throw them away after they trim their ribs, but we're going to cook them today. I'm going to show you some easy steps on how you can make this a succulent dish for an appetizer or an entree. You're absolutely going to love it. I have an all-purpose seasoning here that's just basically garlic, salt, and pepper. And I'm going to put that on as the base coat. Nice generous little covering there. And notice I didn't use a binder on this. You don't really need a binder. They're moist already. Get your favorite barbecue rub. Sprinkle a generous portion on there. Don't be shy with your seasoning because you're going to lose about 30% of it when you cook it here in a minute. So we're going to pat that in. I've turned my stove on here and I'm heating up my little cast iron skillet. You can use stainless steel or cast iron, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and it's getting warm. So when we stick these in here, we should hear the sizzle. So again, that's the bone side there. This is the meaty side. That's going to go down first. I'm going to lay it in away from me here. We don't want to overcrowd our skillet. That's a big piece. So I'm going to put one more smaller piece in here. And we're going to cook that just long enough to get it brown, get it caramelized, develop some flavor, develop some crust. So what I have over here is a sheet pan with a piece of parchment paper on it. Makes my cleanup a little easier when I have a wire rack on top of it. If you have a wire rack, I prefer to use a wire rack to hold those ribs up. But if you don't have one, don't worry, just put it directly down on the sheet pan. I put a little pan of water in here to create some steam as these things are cooking, which is going to help them to stay good and moist. While our ribs are cooking, we're going to go ahead and make a little basting sauce because these things are actually going to simmer in this sauce. A little bit of brown sugar there, maybe about a cup or so. Parquet, you can use regular butter or parquet is fine. Come over here and get a little bit of honey. Put that in there, like so. I'm going to put just a tad of liquid smoke in there to give it a little hickory smoke flavor. About 8 or 9 drops of it there. And then we have tiger sauce. I don't know if you have this tiger sauce in your store, but this adds a little kick to it. And I love this tiger sauce. It's a little sweet. We put a little bit of that in there. Really adds a nice touch to it. And then we have our apple juice. Don't need a whole lot of that, just enough to create a little moisture. Then we're going to stir all that together. And what we're going to do now is cover this with aluminum foil. Stick them back in the oven. Let them cook for another good hour or so. Then we'll come back and check them. Then we'll pull them out and we'll glaze them, and we'll have some really great pork rib tips. So the ribs have been in the oven. They were in the oven 2 hours cooking direct. Then we covered them with our little special seasoning and sauce and covered them up and cooked them in another hour. Now it's time to pull them out, and we're going to glaze these things with our favorite barbecue sauce. And these are looking beautiful. Now, you know, there are times we can't get out on the grill like today, and I wanted to cook these rib tips, and I had no alternative but to cook them in the oven. And I'm so glad I did because they look so, so delicious. What we want is for that glaze to just kind of caramelize on these rib tips. So we're going to put them in the oven for about 30, 40 minutes. Come back and check them and see how they're looking. So look at how wonderful those look. Tell you what, they really turned out nice and pretty. I can hardly wait to sink my teeth into those. And there's a nice caramelization on there. That barbecue sauce set up really, really good. There you have it. That was a pretty easy dish today. We took those beautiful pork rib tips and made something really succulent and delicious today. Those will look really, really nice. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do so. Like this video today. That really helps us. But as you go about your week this week, remember, above everything else, not only love to cook as I do, but cook to love. I'll see you next week on All Things Food.